Hi guys, Heather here, and I figured that the best way to start off the video series on this channel would be to introduce the system. Now, when I say introduce the system, I do not mean that they are going to come out and introduce themselves, because a lot of times you have to have a lot of trust with them in order for them to come out. You're going to have more luck seeing them come out when you're one-on-one with them than anything else. They're not just going to come out to introduce themselves like you see on all these other channels. That's not how it works. We have sufficient communication, and I could bring them out if I wanted to, but I'm not going to force them out when they're not comfortable, because that's just not right. So we're going to start with the littles today. Like, I made a list because I wanted to make sure I didn't leave anybody out that wanted to be talked about. We're going to start with the littles. They are ages 6 months to 10 years. So these are the littles. So you've got baby Heather, which is just me as a baby. A little baby, blonde hair. I guess I was cute. I don't know. Was I cute as a baby? I don't know. 6 months. That's how old I was. Or how old they are. Then you've got Eve, who's a year and a third years old. And I don't know where the 1/3 came from. No idea. But they've got like brown hair, and they wear dresses, and they suck their thumb. They like to suck their thumb. They're also super cute. You've got little Johnny, who's 3. He's a blonde-haired boy, and he's scared a lot. He remembers some pretty horrific stuff that happened that I didn't even remember till he brought it up one time in a session counseling. So he remembers some pretty horrific stuff that happened to the body. You've got Jade. She's 4. She also remembers some pretty horrific stuff. She's kind of got brown hair. But usually little Johnny and her are kind of, they remember the same stuff for the most part. So they can kind of be like, they both kind of know the same stuff and feel the same things. So she's scared. And that's what she is. Carissa is 5. Now, Carissa's one I know a lot about because she's out a lot. Carissa's got beautiful blonde hair, kind of curly. She usually has it in pigtails. She comes out when she's scared or when she's sad. She really, really likes Paw Patrol. Sky is her favorite character. And she usually likes to just she's just a 5-year-old. She's a 5-year-old. She likes to watch movies, eat popcorn. Sometimes she just wants her mom, things like that. Like a normal 5-year-old. But she also carries a lot of the scared and the sad in the system. So she tends to come out more when we're scared or sad. And usually when she comes out, she's really hard to get back in, because I have some amount of communication with her, but she tends to be a little overbearing because she really just can't get rid of the bad feelings she's having. And it takes her a while to go back in after she comes out. We've got Erica. She's 6 years old. She's a redhead. She likes to jump rope. She's a big tomboy. Loves jump roping, Foursquare, all that stuff. But her favorite thing is jump roping. And she is kind of blunt and tomboyish and doesn't let people get away with stuff very easily. So, like, she'll sometimes come out when it's not a major thing that they have to stick up for, like when Angel comes out. But she'll sometimes come out when it's a minor thing, just to kind of try to diffuse the situation. You've got Susan. She's 7 years old. She's got black hair. Uh, she she is always super happy and excited about everything. She's excited about everything. Anytime it's her birthday, anytime it's Christmas, anytime she gets a new toy, she'll come out. She is the one that houses like all the happiness. Hi, Luna. In the system. Hope is 9 years old. Hope is very much in love with animals. Hope loves animals and would do nothing to hurt them. Anytime she sees animals, she's always greeting them or watching them. There's been a couple times when birds had gotten stuck in our house, and Hope had been the one who took them out and let them go into the wild. Like they flew out of her hand. And it just made her feel so special that she could do something like that. So she is more of the animal lover. She kind of just, loves on the animals, loves to learn about animals. That's one of her favorite things. Wanted to be a veterinarian. Some of these guys, they have a career choice they wanted, and Erica wanted to be a veterinarian. Or not Erica, Hope, sorry. Hope wanted to be a veterinarian. Angel is 10 and has black hair, very blunt, very straightforward. She is the protector of the system. When she comes out in full force, she comes out in full force, and I don't always remember. But that's usually in times of extreme stress, which I'm going to be recording the short about the whole hospital visit a little bit after this so that you guys can kind of see what could cause her to come out. But other than that, usually she only comes out just mildly to stand up for herself. But when she comes out in full force, I don't remember it. I find out about it later by talking to people. Then you got Jenny, who's also 10. Now, Jenny is an interesting case. She dresses up a lot older than children her age should. She's a little more mature than a 10-year-old should be about certain things that, like sex and stuff. It's kind of sad that she's that mature about it. But yeah, she's 10, and honestly, whenever I was a kid, I didn't realize it, but when I did the whole Heather Jenny thing, when I was pretending to be, or I thought I was pretending to be Jenny, but I really wasn't. And then I found out one day that Jenny actually wrote her name on a piece of paper that my teacher gave me and got my butt chewed by my teacher for writing the wrong name. I was like, okay, this might be something. Once I started realizing what I had, I was like, this might be something to look into. So I think Jenny has always been there ever since forever. And she just was able to come out in the new school, in the new area. All right, then we've got the teenagers. We've got Abigail. She's 13. I've talked a little bit about her. She loves nature. She loves caving and being out in nature. She identifies as Wiccan. She actually loves video games, but she would love living in a cave too. She wouldn't mind living in a cave, campfire. Sorry, my cat's really loud today. All that stuff. You've got Miranda, who's 17. Now, Miranda has gotten me in trouble a lot of times, all right? Not because she's bad, but because she's a 17-year-old who's constantly looking for someone to date. And there have been times when Miranda has given random strangers my number, and then they call and make me feel super uncomfortable because Miranda wants a boyfriend. Like, she is 17, she wants a boyfriend, she wants a relationship. So she's gotten me in several tight spots before where I actually had to cancel dates and, be like, dude, don't call me again. She doesn't care. If someone acts like they're interested in her, she's immediately giving them her number. And that's not the way you should do things. Stephanie, which is kind of a teenager because she's 19, but also an adult. She's pretty mature. She likes to help out a lot around the system. She likes to help the adults a lot. She likes to, hang out with the kids and watch the kids when needed. She also is very big on nature, but her favorite thing is butterflies. She loves butterflies. Um, and she's got brown hair too. It's more of like an auburn brown though. But yeah, she's got brown hair too. Then you've got the adults, me, Heather, the host, which you should probably already know everything about me right now, except the fact that I look like I'm 20 when I'm really 36. um, so that's me. I'm the one who's fronting most of the time. Um, I'm the one that will let them come out when they need to, as long as we're in an area that it's safe to come out. You've got Sam. He's 25. He's got black hair. He is super, super smart. When he comes out, you can tell because he is smart. Like, he will just talk about things so much, so smartly. But he's also the inner self helper and the record keeper. Sorry, my hair is getting in my eyes. And he will gradually feed me memories throughout the day to kind of let me know what happened if I forget something. Because sometimes there's things I don't want to remember until I'm at home. And so when that happens, usually he'll come out and take over and deal with things until, I get home. A recent example of this would probably be, we thought my grandmother was having a stroke. And we were the ones who had to dial 911 because our parents were not wanting to do that. So he came in full force and took over and was like, if you think that she's having a stroke, then we need to get help quick. And then later I realized that it wasn't me that did that, it was Sam that did that. Sam is one to take over immediately if there's a problem. Just immediately. Then you've got Melissa. She is the child caregiver. She's blonde. She's 30. She takes care of the kids with Stephanie's help, of course. Fun thing about Stephanie, just because I haven't said this yet, she spells her name Stefanie. That's how Stephanie spells her name. And that's one of the only ones that really spell their name in a weird way, I guess you could say, unless you want to count Lil Johnny, who literally is Lil and then Johnnny. But anyway, Melissa takes care of the kids with Stephanie's help, and they do things with the kids. They keep them safe. They play with them. They do what they can to help the kids feel safe because the kids need to feel safe. And then you've got the shadow people. Now, this is where the rest of the 23 come in. And the sad thing is, I only know 3 of the shadow people. But I know that there's more than that. And the third one, I don't even know their name yet. But we've got Junebug. That is a shadow person. This is like the darkest parts of the system. Worst parts of the system. Scariest parts of the system. So bad that whenever I draw out a little plan of what where the system lives for you guys in a future video, there is an electric fence surrounding the house, and the shadow people live outside in the bushes by the electric fence. So you got Junebug. When she ends up getting in, she gets very, 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 very depressed. Starts making really awful plans. I'm not going to say the word, but you guys know what I mean. And she will stop at nothing to get those plans accomplished. And she usually knows how to make it look like an accident so no one knows what really happened. Parrot is another one that I met in a dream. And Parrot is probably the scariest one ever. And I don't know why, but they seem to be like the scariest one ever. And I still don't know like their full backstory. I just know that they are creepy. And they've got a lot of dark stuff inside, like a lot of darkness inside of them. We have another shadow person that's a little boy, but I can't think of the name. I've met him in a dream before. He had blonde hair. Um, we were trying to introduce him to the house, but he had a lot of stuff going on. And so he had to stay outside of the house for a bit longer. And then, other than that, the rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, the rest of the shadow people, I don't know who they are. I don't know their names. I don't know what memories they house. I just know they all house really, really dark memories. And, I mean, they'll eventually come out and tell me, because obviously Junebug's already done that and Parrot's already done that. And this one little boy is trying to do that. But it's probably going to take a long time before I find out everything about the shadow people. They're the most mysterious, creepy alters that I can think of, and even I get scared thinking of them. And, like, thinking of communicating with them in the future, which is going to have to happen eventually. But they have to house probably the worst memories of my childhood. The worst memories of the trauma that I had to deal with. Because they are not easy to figure out who are. But yeah, so that's just like an intro to who lives inside the system. That's what this video was for. It was just to kind of get you guys in the know about all 23 of us. That way, when I start doing videos and I start talking about people like Angel coming out or whatever, you guys can come back to this video and be like, oh, Angel, the 10-year-old who's always angry, you know, or, aw, Carissa, the 5-year-old who's scared and sad but loves Paw Patrol. Things like that. But thank you guys for watching this. I hope it was informative. As I told you, none of them really came out as far as I know. They might have, and I might not have noticed. But usually they won't unless they really trust you or you're one-on-one with them. But I do appreciate you guys watching the video and being so supportive of this, because this was a very big, scary step for me. And working on this now, I am really excited to get into like the nitty-gritty of things. So thank you guys, and this has been Heather signing off.